Hello and welcome back to another video. So I was a little bit unsure about whether I really wanted to do a response to, I suppose, a number of different videos, but first and foremost, I guess, Ben Space, T-Rex Space Station. And his actual video was a response to somebody else, and it was, have you ever thought about quitting YouTube? So there was also another video that I watched from Mark Verheer. It was a little bit long-winded. He sort of went off in a few different directions, which I think I'm going to here, to be honest. And he talked a little bit about his experience with YouTube overall, you know, the sort of ups and downs. And I guess I'm also going to sort of try and touch on that as best I can from memory. I've not got anything written down, as per usual. Preparation is at the very minimum. And I've also got to go and put my chips in the oven at some point soon, so whether there'll be a pause and a continuation, I don't know. So basically, have I ever considered quitting YouTube? Not specifically quitting as in never uploading a video again, just going completely off the radar. I have thought that perhaps I should, and I have recently, I guess, upload less videos. I've certainly put less time into making videos, probably over the last year or so, really, other than anything that's a lot of edited footage together, because I just found it very draining. I guess the thing with me is that I've done it for so long, I kind of feel like there's not much more I can offer. And as I sort of responded to Ben in his video, again, I sort of went off topic, I think, on my response to him. I think it's because we've been sort of having this back and forth of various comments on videos about YouTube and different aspects for quite some time, but I basically said to him that I didn't want to sound ungrateful, but in reality, my channel hasn't really grown in the last few years. And I'll go into the reasons for that briefly, or what I believe to be the reasons for that. Try not to, offend anybody as best I can. But as far as my videos go, I still get a pretty good audience. Quite often I'll get over 100 views. I get quite a lot of comments. Not only do I get comments, but they're related to the actual gameplay. It's people who've took an interest in it, or they've got a fond memory to the game, or a story to share. So the interaction back and forth is really good, I think. I mean, looking at other people's videos, even the comments I leave sometimes, sometimes I just put, again, I'll bring Ben into this, I just left a comment in one of his videos. It wasn't Doom, it was Pat. No, it was Butcher. He had a picture of Pat Butcher. But anyway, yeah. And I just put, this looks like a cool game. Reminds me a little bit of Super Meat Boy, which is a kind of generic comment, I guess. But I enjoyed the video. But I've not really got a lot to add to it. I don't know anything about the game other than, so that's what I left. But I think sometimes the comments I get are a little bit more long-winded than that. Maybe I've said something completely random and ridiculous that someone's picked up on. I don't know, but either way, I mean, I'm sure any comments are good comments, to be honest, but either way, I do enjoy that interaction. So it's not that I'm ungrateful, but there hasn't been a massive amount of growth, and I think that's mainly due to probably some of the I guess people in the community would call it controversial things I've been involved with, such as the stance I took against advertising. I think it was like 2012 or something like that. Maybe it's 2013, I don't know. Again, not very good with these fact checking. It's when advertising was allowed for everyone, and I basically was a little bit annoyed about it, and I kind of, I guess almost regrettably, made a video stating that I wasn't very happy about it, and I thought it would end up ruining YouTube. And again, without going on about it, I guess you could kind of argue that everyone being allowed to use adverts has kind of ruined YouTube, but for people reliant upon the revenue, because obviously the revenue isn't there anymore. And there's a lot more involved in that, but you've seen the uprise of things like Patreon and gifting and all that kind of stuff, or whatever it's called, tips jar. I don't want to get involved in that. That's nothing to do with me. But obviously the advertising model has changed over that period of time. So I got involved in that. It obviously rubbed up a few people the wrong way, and tongues will wag, as they say. There was obviously the incident, with my stance on what I felt was people taking a moral high point in terms of their attitudes towards, resellers and people buying everything and selling it or trading it or whatever else. again, which, you know, caused quite a bit of upset. There was the podcast with Carl and Chris, the two fat bastards, where I think I came across pretty well, to be honest, but it was taken down due to some complaints, which I didn't like at the time. I wasn't happy about that. Felt like there was some censorship. There was a bit of back and forth regarding that. And, you know, all these kind of things, obviously, you know, if people talk, no one wants to be attracted towards any sort of negativity in terms of the community. And I can understand that. And if somebody's kind of got a bit of a name where they think, oh, you know, he's trouble or whatever else. I mean, we're talking about the internet here. I mean, you know, when you say trouble, you know, things escalate so quickly. There's so much misunderstanding in a matter of seconds that, you know, it's a different kind of thing, really, I think. But I think that has, you know, sort of almost stumped my channel in terms of growth. And at the end of the day, it is who I am. I've always been myself on YouTube. I've always made the videos that I want to make, you know, and obviously you can't always agree with everybody. You know, quite often you're going to have a different point of view. A lot of people probably can't understand just shooting from the hip and, you know, just doing something raw without thinking it through, which, you know, can be regretful. But at the end of the day, that's the kind of person I am. I live by my mistakes, and, you know, if I have to make an apology, then I will make an apology. But if I have to stand my ground on a subject, then I guess that's the kind of person I am. So, you know, I think that's why, you know, my channel hasn't grown as much as other people's channels, and also the fact that I don't really interact as much as I used to. And I think that's a big factor. I mean, I could say to people, try this test, which I know many people would try, but if there's somebody who regularly comments on your channel and you regularly comment on their channel back and forth, just try not comment on their channel for like a month. And you might well find that they stop commenting on your channel. And I don't think this is like vindictive or anything like that. I think it's just sort of like a natural thing that happens. You know, you lose that sort of interaction you were having constantly, and you drift apart a little bit. Because I think that is another big thing about YouTube. A lot of the time, people, if you like, tune in because of the person who's making the video. You know, the subject matter isn't really the biggest factor. You know, they just want to find out what's going on or what the person's got to say. Or, I mean, it's not always like that, but I think that is a big factor. I don't know where I'm going there. I've got to put my chips in, so let me pause it and I'll come back.